to this video about this Ibanez Pro Line guitar which one of my clients has brought in to me. It's going to require quite a bit of work. So there's a few things that we have to do. First of all, the finish of the guitar, although it's overall it's really not too bad, and I've certainly seen a lot worse than this. The client wants me to take this finish off and take it back to natural wood. Now I have explained to him that I don't know what the wood's going to look like underneath. It may be plywood, which might present some challenges, but he said he doesn't mind. Just take it off, take it back to natural wood. And if we can get it back to a condition where the wood's fairly clean and we've got any residue of this finish off it, we might stain it and we'll probably put some finishing oil on it. The other thing is, he had asked me if it needed refretting, and it doesn't need refretting. There's still plenty of meat on it. There are a few spots where the frets are worn down a little, but it doesn't need a refresh. And the final thing that he wanted me to have a look at is the electronics on this guitar. So this is a bit weird. I'll have to do some research on it, but I'm assured that there's a separate button to turn off and on each of the pickups, and one of these switches all of them on at the same time, and it needs a couple of new knobs. Obviously that one's just rusted, and we just need to make sure it all works. So overall it's quite a large project. The first thing I'm going to do is take it apart. I forgot I was filming this stuff, so I wasn't going to show you how I sanded down, or well, what I did basically was use a heat gun to strip the paint off, and then I sanded it down. I wasn't planning to show you that anyway because it's pretty boring, and there are other videos online which show that. But what I forgot to do was show you the start of the finishing process. This is Liberon finishing oil, and it's basically similar to Danish oil, but I've used it quite a lot and it gives a really nice finish. So this is what the wood underneath looks like. So it's pretty damn good actually. It's a couple of pieces of, I think, ash. There's a bit of flaming on the back, which is quite nice around here, and then on the front it's a pretty attractive piece of wood. So that's going to be quite nice. I'm going to put a couple more coats of the finishing oil on this, and then put the guitar back together. That's all we wanted to do. There could have been some staining done which would have brought out the grain, but I asked the client about that and he didn't want that done. So basically this is just going to be a bit more shiny and a bit more flamey when I've got another couple of coats of oil on, and then we'll put it back together. So all I'm doing really with this is taking some finishing oil, fold my cloth up nice and neatly, get plenty of oil on the cloth, and then we just go over it. And you can see what this looks like when the oil goes on. It's like really shiny. Make sure every bit of it's covered, even though most of this is going to be covered by a scratch plate. Now I've got these kind of chunks of wood which are kind of something to stand it on, so that I missed a bit there, so that the wood doesn't, so that the back of the guitar, front of the guitar doesn't rest against the work surface. I really like the look of the back of this. I wish this was the front actually, because it's so much nicer than the back. It would be good as the front. But there we go. I'm just making sure I've got everything covered. Look at that, that's amazing. Okay. I'm just removing any excess. I'm going to get all of this off, otherwise it will become sticky and it will take a long time to dry. So I put 5 coats on now, and as you can see it's starting to look really good. So I think this is only going to need probably one more coat, so we'll put that coat on, and then this Saturday morning when I'm filming this I'm going to leave it over the weekend to cure, probably for a couple more days. Maybe by the middle of next week I'll start putting the whole guitar back together. So what I've learnt after doing a little bit of research into this guitar is the model is a Pro Line. It says Pro Line on the headstock, so that was a bit of a clue. It's a Pro Line 1770, and it was made in Japan in 1986 or 1987, and it's got this really unusual switching arrangement. So on the board there's a normal 5-way switch, but there's also a push-pull or a push-push, which coil splits apparently, and this is also a double-decker potentiometer. So the top is doing something different, which is related to this switch here with the 5 buttons on. I have checked it. I've connected the wires up to an amp, and all the pickups work, and these buttons do seem to do something. I'm not really sure what yet. According to the information I've seen so far, they're presets. So there's 2 presets, and this sort of changes how each pickup sounds. Looking at the way the wires work and what they're actually connected to, I'm assuming that there's phase reversal going on and some series parallel switching as well. But without staring at it for about 2 hours and not having any wiring diagrams for it, it's quite hard to work out what's going on, but it does work. So that's a relief. So we can put this back into the body of the guitar.